Hi everyone. Human resource management and the finance management. So today we talk about the mainly the department function and that human resource department what they are going to do. These are the main functions they are going to do. So that day we in the previous session we talk about the department functions and that we talk about all that mainly understand all the human resource departments and what are the finance department, what is the marketing department, production functions, everything we talk about there. So mainly today we'll discuss one by one what are the main functional things in the human resource department. So under human resource managers, nowadays we got known as traditionally it's a human resource department, but the latest name we are telling is the personal department or the personal department. The person manager is who's responsible for this. So first one under that is coming under the workforce planning. The workforce planning, in a sense, is involves calculating the number and type of staff that will be required by the business. For example, in the business, there would be not take up too much time. For example, I had to with thousands of workers. Imagine an organization which has thousands of workers. So you have to recognize that the organization, what is the how much number of staff we needed in the next year or the next month, or how many people are there to are waiting for retirement, how much of people are waiting to actually in order to asking for example pending maternity leaves, pending study leaves, like that can be so many issues are there like that. So workforce planning means we are going to identify mainly what are the important uh, labor settings. We are going to find out important like now how much labor we required for the next year or next month. Like this workforce planning is ahead. So we are taking into consideration how many people like are planning to resign from the organization, how much of people planning to retire from the organization, and how much of people are planning to actually to get study leaves and maternity leave, something like that. So all that things you have to matter. So planning is like that. For the future circumstances we have to plan in advance. Second one is a recruitment and selection. We talk about mainly human resource department, very famous for this, advertising the job vacancies and then recruiting people. There's a process of recruitment. They have to do the interview part and the selection part, everything. And then departments and managers, and also they join and the recruitment parts, all that this interview panels are there. We discuss this lesson in the recruitment lesson. Recruitment and selection is the most important part of the human resource department, and select the best candidate which is fit for the suitable for the organization, and giving them responsibilities, and then organizing that organization actually candidate after interview. It's another process. So recruitment selection is another important function that done by the human resource department. The third element you can see training. Human resource department always like to organize induction and most other training that employees will need during their employment. Training, there are three categories of training. If you remember on training lesson we discussed. The first one is normally the orientation program we are going to give you in the beginning of the job. That is called the induction training. And after that, they familiarize with the organization. Then we are giving them in on the job training, to actually giving the suitable training. By the there we are using like a mentor, or sometimes you can use the methods such as looking at another worker, shadowing workers, like that. So that's on the job training. And also we talk about the off the job training. Also sometimes organization prefer to send their workers outside the organization or away from the organization in order to do their training courses. For example, hotel, sometimes they might send them to hotel school. Airlines, sometimes they are sending them to like a very separate training school. Especially some jobs, they need off-job training, such as surgeons, like doctors, pilots. So they have to work under simulators, off-job training, artificial environment, in order to get the training. And the other one is health and safety. The organization are responsible human resource department to make sure that to manage the health and safety of an organization. Therefore, this will be done by organization. Always they will always grant you health and safety procedures, and then like for example protective gear for the organization, and then staff usually trained and health and safety the issues that employees which require to safety equipment and protective clothing. So everything they have to handle carefully. Sometimes you might notice that some organization they are giving this instruction. So entrance they are giving safety first. Safety is number one, especially construction sites. We can see they are giving at the entrance point. They are giving that board safety first. Eh? So it's not about the building, it's not about the materials. So materials can be replaced, but your life, but your leg, your hands, your life cannot be replaced. So that's the thing, safety first. Therefore, organization should comply with these things and should give them all that protective gear, everything, all the issues, everything handled by them. So another one is the staff welfare of the organization. The staff welfare always the business will be able to handle because like you can see the staff welfare. Sometimes people might be thinking, this is like organizations are they are normally sending them to a like a welfare, something kind of organizing a party or something. It can be organized sometimes. People will be there making the families like might be happy about this. Welfare means not only the parties, it's sometimes giving some kind of a like comfortable working conditions, right? And then they may sometimes they have to monitor their working environment, and sometimes they have to like the workers have to like giving comfortable working environment, sometimes toilet facilities, fresh drinking water, and somewhere clean, hygienic, comfortable to take a break. Like that, there should be also means of the heating for food or water or hot drinks. Sometimes those facilities also important, like food heating facilities, like microwave oven. Sometimes they're provided because sometimes difficult because morning they have to come to work and they put their food and everything into a fridge, refrigerator or freezer, and then they are taking it back, so they can't actually eat the frozen foods. They have to put it like an oven, so they have to heat it. So this sometimes organization giving this microwave oven facilities also for the comfortability, and also water, especially clean water with the nice water dispensers with the filters, and also hot drinks or cool drinks, whatever you can see, cool water, ice water. So these things are there in organization. You can see in schools also we have these facilities, everything. Staff welfare, employee welfare is really important. And the other most important function of the human resource department they are doing is employment issues. Within of your organization, when you're managing, you can see there are so many issues are there. Issues mean there sometimes there it can be sometimes a personal issue. It can be sometimes issue regarding their job description, issue regarding their salary, issue regarding their uh, kind of a uh, personal issue, sometimes sickness or something like that. So employment issue, human resource department is responsible to hear those things. They must explain the contents and ensure that both the employer and employee sign copies. Especially it is important to clarify the pay, hours of work, place of work, job description, holiday allowances, non-financial incentives, and any other conditions of services or for new employees. Other one you can see the industrial relations. The industrial relation means organization they have to organize this industrial relation thing. HR department responsible to maintain good communication with the trade unions, and they may also have to organize and be involved in a negotiation between the employers and employees. This is called the having some kind of like a PR kind of like a relationship with the unions. Union actions are there in organization. So union sometimes can be a hectic, it can be a burden for the organization's development, the owner. Therefore, these forces, these are pressure groups sometimes created by workers. Sometimes this is a employee right. Actually, you can't blame anyone because it's a employee union. A trade union is the employee right. So if someone actually forming an employee trade union, organization can't actually say no, you can't, because that's their right of employment. So therefore, these union leaders sometimes making some kind of a different negotiations, and sometimes they come up with different requests in organizations, sometimes to increase the salaries or increase different facilities. Sometimes it is not practical to do. So organization always can't be say okay with those things. Sometimes organization has to take different measures to control the actions. But mainly, the relationship, a good relationship is really important for an organization with especially employees to maintain that rapport with them. Then only you can actually make a productive output you can take from them without going to strikes, and otherwise what happens, they will end up with the sabotage, and sometimes they are try to work according to rules, and then sometimes they are not giving satisfying their customers. Some problems are coming like that's called industrial relations. There are in so many examples are there in the world who actually victims of bad industrial relationships. So you can see other one is a dismissal. Sorry, disciplinary and grievance procedures. Disciplinary and grievance procedure also really important. Human resource manager responsible for handling these things. For example, if someone late for work, if someone actually absent without proper reason, if someone actually intoxicated taking liquor while working, or sometimes organizations sometimes they're taking a sometimes bullying case, or sometimes there can be a personal matter, sometimes sickness or something, that's called grievance. So these things must be heard by the human resource manager. We call that person like ombudsman also. So we discipline on a poor conduct, or it may be a problem with the work issue. So human resource department will have to provide information to employees on procedures in such matters and deal with the whole process. On the other hand, the dismissal, that's a last resort for any organization are planning. If workers can't manage, so then the next thing is the dismissal of the person. That means the person can be dismissed. So simply we can say the person can be laid off by the layoff, and then they say some service can be terminated by the organizations. Sometimes this can be in this situation, so two certain things sometimes dismissal is a punishment, kind of a punishment if that happened because of the disciplinary action. Sometimes dismissal can be done as a request from the organization. We call it redundancy. Redundancy. There's a difference between dismissal and redundancy. Dismissal happened because of the disciplinary action. That's the last resort to dismiss the worker from the organization. The other one is the redundancy. Redundancy is a situation where organization requesting from the workers that they no longer need their service because the business is actually performing badly because of the economic recession. There is no orders, there is no customers, so business is going to wind up or shut down some operations. Therefore, the workers are no longer required. Therefore, they are saying them to quit their jobs. That's called the redundancy. So redundancy is not a punishment. Redundancy is happening because of the situation where economic situation get bad of the organization. There is no order because of the internal affairs of the organization getting worse. That's what happened. Redundancy, but organization has to pay the workers a redundancy pay because the organization requests them to leave. Therefore, organization has to pay them some compensation for them to leave the organization. Sometimes an employee may have grounds to claim unfair dismissal. For example, if a worker is dismissed for joining a trade union because they are considered too old, they may take the employer to an employment tribunal. Sometimes unfair dismissal also situations are there. Sometimes workers will dismiss unfairly. For this situation, worker have right, they can go to court. We have called separate courts are there, labor courts, where the civil matters are not discussed there. That's called the employment tribunal in the every country, the tribunal of employment. So there are lawyers, and then you can go and talk with them, and then they will call the relevant parties, and then they listen to the both side, and they are giving some kind of suggestions and orders to implement. So that's an employment tribunal thing. They have power to do that thing. So HR department would be involved in this process. The other thing is redundancy thing. Redundancy business how to make people redundant. As I told you, the redundancy thing I discussed there also. Redundancy means a business make people redundant or terminated. Job. It's a strict formal procedure has to be followed before they can be laid off. Example, employee must be given a written notice before and may be entitled to a redundancy pay like compensation scheme, and then HR department will handle this scenario. So you can find out these are the main summary of the human resource department or HR department what they are doing. Okay, let's talk about the other second department is today the finance department. Normally, like human resource department, the human resource department headed by human resource manager. So therefore, financial department headed by the finance manager. So, but he's responsible. Sometimes the finance manager they call CFO, Chief Financial Officer. Sometimes they call. So this case, financial department mainly responsible for administering and monitoring of all financial transactions carried out by the business. So in large business, the following tasks may be carried out by them. For example, you can see like recording transactions, wages and salaries, credit control, cash flow forecasting and budgeting, and accounts. Okay. Recording transactions mean, every organization, every business, they have a right. They're supposed to record all the transactions in day-to-day business because always they have to give them some receipts, payment vouchers, checks, and so many documents are there to fill. So everything they are recording those documents in the prime entry books, and these prime entry books will be maintained by the accountants or accounts clerks, and then they prepare the out of these prime entry books. They record their ledger accounts and they prepare the trial balance after balancing, and after that they prepare the financial statement like income statement and the statement of financial position and cash flow and all that. Some other if it's a company accounts are different, income statement, SOFP, and statement of changes in equity, cash flow forecast, something like that. So a lot of documents they're preparing out of the lot of financial statement they prepare out of these records. So recording is really important. The first step of the finance department is recording functions to properly record this. The second function they are doing is uh, wages and salaries. Sometimes we call it payroll. Payroll maintenance. So payroll maintenance also a really important thing. You can see payroll function in organization business is every month you have to run the payroll. The payroll function will be done by the accountant, accounts clerk, executive. So he's responsible for involving processing the wages and salaries for all the workers. It's a very responsible job. Why I'm saying that? Because human resource department they are giving the all the number of workers, they are the number of days they attend to work, and their leaves and sick leaves and absent days and everything, no pay and everything. So all the details they are hand over to the finance department. So what the finance department they are going to do, they are taken that details, the how many number of days or how many number of what are the output they produce, everything, and they are calculate their salaries of the each and every worker. Imagine a person who absent for a couple of days. So then organization can be decided to actually cut some salaries or no pay, send him a no pay leave. So like these things are administered by the like a wages and salary processing, everything uh, done by the finance department, and also doing the payment. Sometimes they're using the method called slips method. They're using, so organization can use this system to pay their wages and slips. Sometimes in the payment system we talked about previously, like time rate system and piece rate system. Right? In time rate system, what we do, we calculate the wages based on number of hours they work. So we should have a like a time sheet of the each and every worker, how many hours they work in the organization. In order to calculate their wage based on the hourly rate. Salary is a monthly fixed one given for the managerial workers. It's not depending on the hours, number of hours of work. It's not depending on the number of output also. Salary is a fixed amount that pay to the managerial staff for their work. So like that, so they ensure that the payment is made on time and deal with the wages and wage queries and make payment to the tax authorities also, because every country from the employee wages they are deducting some taxes, like for example pay tax, we call pay as you earn, like that pay taxes, everything is there. This is handled by the financial department. And also the third function you can see, credit control. Credit control involves the monitoring the amount of money owed by the customers. It often requires staff to chase outstanding debts. It's often required to staff to chase outstanding debts. So in this case, what they're going to do mainly credit control. Sometimes reminding the customers, they're giving calls to customers. Okay, our bill is due, like that. Sometimes they are sending emails to them to remind them, sometimes sending SMSs, emails, and sometimes they're talking like over the phone, they're giving simple call and they reminded them, right, go to this, right, this, you have to have outstanding amount like this, please settle before this date, like that. You can see some organizations they are doing, like you can see so many utility companies like electricity, water, and the like telecommunication companies, they're reminding their customers. So who is responsible? Finance department responsible. And the other one is the, you can see the fourth function is cash flow forecasting and budgeting. Cash flow forecasting and budgeting, the finance department is responsible for controlling the firm's money. Such control is aided by producing budgets and cash flow forecast. The cash flow forecast are discussed in chapter 26. We discussed about that in future. We are going to discuss that cash flow forecasting and budgeting. That's a preparation, kind of a financial plan for the future. All inflows and outflows they are preparing and planning. So what kind of inflows they are predicting the next future months, and also what kind of a outflow they are expecting in advance, like that. Cash flow forecasting and budgeting is really important task done by the accountants, because based on that only organization they have idea how much they are going to earn, how much they are going to spend, like that. These budgets and cash flows are really important in that case. So the other one is the last is accounts preparation. You can see the financial accountant, they are preparing these accounts. For example, one important job done by the finance department is producing the business accounts. These are financial statements that show how well the company has performed. This can be done by, can be monthly statements. Sometimes they're required by the organization, but for external parties, at least it's a PLC, it's public listed company, you have to produce it like quarterly. Quarter is 3 months, right? 3 months, you have to prepare that financial statement. Sometimes it's a hectic job. So, but that's their routine job, because every 3 months to 3 months, they have to give a financial statements to the shareholders to track their ongoing the performance of the organizations. This include the statement, financial statement, the statement of comprehensive income, and the statement of financial position. They call the balance sheet. So I'll show you all the financial statement. Let's go to this website. There's Colombo Stock Exchange, csc.lk. If you go there, so you can find the all important functions they're performing. So this is the all public list in Sri Lanka is listed here. It's called Colombo Stock Exchange. Imagine like this is the they are normally this Colombo, this is board. So let's say I want to search about one company. Let's say Sri Lanka, one of the best companies in Sri Lanka is John Chris Holding. They have operations worldwide, also like Maldives and everything. They have hotels and resorts. So let's talk about that, called JKH. So I want to, let's say I want to check their financial statements, right? So you can see if you go to this section, the financial section, company profile. So charts, financial videos, announcements, everything is there. You can see their company business summaries are based on travel and tourism, stock brokering, banking, insurance. It's a diversified company, real estate management, soft drinks like ice cream. You can see like Elephant House, and then processed meats like a Keels, and the supermarket, Keels supermarkets, and bunkering services, operations, and container terminal like South Asian Gateway terminals. Like that, and also it's like a big, like one of the biggest company in Sri Lanka. So let's say I want to find out the recent financial performance of that company. So I can go to the financial section here. So you can see annual reports I can download. These are annual reports, and you can see this is recent annual report is there. So it's uploaded like 21st May. Today is the 24th. You can see like recently they have uploaded the annual report 2019 2020. So, and quarterly reports are there if you want to find out the 3 month summary. 3 month summaries is 27th of January. January quarter is there, because then only like a then March, April, May. So you can see like like a quarterly 3 months to 3 months. We are giving that. You can see July, November, January, like that. So let's say I want to check the annual report, the summary, the annual turnover and everything. So I can just download this report. You can see the report is there, consists of the 300 pages. So I'll just take a look at the only financial statement section. their summary, everything they are giving. So all the information. So who responsible for preparing this report? Financial department. So you can see here chairman's message, everything, and you can see in that message they're giving the EBITDA, that means earning before interest, tax, depreciation, and everything. 4.42 billion rupees they have earned in that last year. So like that, so they're giving so many informations in that message section. So let's go to financial section, investor relation thing. So everything, this financial statement means like this. So like, so chairman signed that document and then right. So there are so many information that are there, investor relation information, and the value added, so many things are there, group revenue, because it's not one single company, it's like a group of company. So like for example, if you want to see the financial statement, you can simply go to their quarterly financial report and you can take a look at the interim financial statement. So it's like a small financial statement. You can see here they are giving this this is a financial statement. It's called the consolidated income statement. So this is prepared by the finance department. So there are so many workers are there, a lot of accounts clerks and assistant accountants, finance managers, and CFO, financial director. So you can see their quarterly profits and 9 months profits, everything's there. Quarter ended 31st December, they have earned for that only 3 months. So they have earned, you can see, it's a 31 million. So it's like that. So and the 2020. So 2019 they have earned 34 million, and then 2020 is gone down a little bit. I think because of mainly COVID-19 affect that situation. And then loss of it, everything you can see profit and loss, profit before tax, earning per share, dividend per share. This is called the consolidated statement of comprehensive income (SOCI). And consolidated statement financial position we call SOFP, statement of financial position, all the assets and liabilities, current assets, current liabilities, everything they summarize here. You can see at that point, so they have total non-current liabilities are there 349 billion worth of this. This is a organizations are mainly preparing this. Is who responsible for this? Financial department responsible for this. So you can see at the end who signed these documents. See group financial controller. You can see group financial controller, he signed here, and also along with that other sign signature, you can see the chairman and the deputy chairman and the group finance director. So he's a deputy chairman and the group finance director also of the company. So he also signed, and then chairman also signed, and group financial control also signed. So these are the new terms actually are using. Chairman, so the chairperson. You can see group financial director. So now we don't call accountant. Or here we call main accountant. That's called group financial controller. Financial control is the new term they're using, and the top of them you can see about the financial controller. So he is responsible for this person is a group finance director, and finance director is responsible for the chairman. So like that, this is the hierarchy of the organization, and then not only those two, along with that you can see cash flow statement. This is the cash flow statement, and this is a cash flows coming from different this changes of equity. There are so many things because it's PLC, company income statement. So many things are there. So every 3 months they have to give their situation. They have to give their summary, notes to the financial statement. What has happened in these 3 months? The reporting part done by this annual report. Annual report is a big one. So you can see they are doing like in a group. They are summary of the group. Everything they are given like that. So it's a 150 years of excellence. Like they are celebrating that, enduring the times like big company. One of the so this is a recent annual report of the group. So so everything you can see if you go to their financial highlights, you can see this one contents. You can find everything. The annual report, everything done by compiled by the companies. Mainly the most contribution given by the finance department. So you can see everything's there: management discussion, group highlights, share information, and shareholder information, everything, introduction to the report, business model, organization structure, uh, chairman's message, investor relations, everything. So I'll take you to the organization structure of the company. Organization structure we talk about and our lessons also recently. It can be a flat structure, tall structure, metric structure, right? So we'll talk about centralized or decentralized. The financial statement, everything is there here. Uh, so if you go to page number 8, you can see like the organization structure of the organization. Uh, Here we go. The organization structure, you can see they have given, because of the large organization, they are given their sectors. They have transportation sector, like logistics section, you can see transportation, port and shipping. Consumer food, they have a like Elephant House Group beverages, like a frozen confectionery, like the chocolates and the mainly ice cream, and convenience foods, supermarket, and retails mainly talking supermarkets and office automation services. And leisure side, they have hotels, especially cinnamon hotels in Sri Lanka, owned by them, city hotels, resorts, destination management, hotel management. I think the recently, because of the tourism has dropped, this section might be definitely they have some impact. And also the property section, they have real estate. You can see recently, like apartment, like Trisen apartment is a property by John Keels, like property development, apartment construction, and real estate property management. Everything done by they are another arm of the group, diversified conglomerate. And also they have banks also, insurance companies, uh, like Union Assurance, and banking service like Nation Trust Bank, and stockbroking like John Key Stockbrokers. So they have like owned by so many like financial services also. And finally, you can see the other one, other including information technology, ICT and plantation services. You can see like information technology, plantation services, and other center functions. So main center functions they are given like so it's like a very complex organization structure. So that's why they are giving their main headings. So many functions are there, initiative, sustainability, and so it's very important. If you go to the financial statement of the company, page number 182, so I can see you tell you like what is the industrial like a company overview, and mainly this is the financial statement of the company for the year. Income statement, you can see company is separate, group is separate. You can see group turnover, all values in rupees 1,000. You can see their continuing operation. You can see revenue from insurance country, everything. Total revenue is 140 billion. 140 billion. So if you want to use US dollar terms, you can convert. That's what they have given. 140 billion revenue, and their cost of sale, revenue minus cost of sale is cost of sale 113 billion. So their revenue minus cost of sale, the gross profit is 26 billion. The group profit I'm talking, 26 billion. And then you are dividing all the other expenses, administrative expense, everything. Operating profit is 6.7 billion. After deducting finance expenses, profit before tax is 12 billion, 12.4 billion. So there are 2 billion tax expense, and profit for the year is 9.7 billion after tax. Profit after tax 9.7 billion, right? So that's why. So 9.4 billion goes to equity attributable parent company, and then non-controlling minority holders, they got 327 millions. Like that. So they have given everything. Dividend per share 3.5, basic earning per share. This is everything you will learn in future one by. So if you are accounting student, if you know accounting, this will be a great moment for you to go through. Yeah, you can recap, you can refresh your knowledge in accounting. So this is called income statement. So everything is prepared by the accountants, the finance department. Look at the SOFP, the group value of the assets, total asset, non-current assets. They have 315 billion because its values are in this one, because everything you can see ports, banks, buildings, supermarkets, everything 315 billion. Total asset 436 billion. That's why like one of the biggest company in the Sri Lanka. So that's why. So you can see everything information is related to the financial statement. So that's what I want to prepare here, like mainly make sure the account preparation part. So one of the important job done by the finance department is producing the business accounts. So account prepared by the finance department. So now you know what is accounts mean, what is a financial statement mean, what is a comprehensive income statement, and what is a financial position. Because we go through everything. So like that. So all the company information, so everything is published. If anyone, if I go to this is Colombo Stock Exchange. If I go to New York Stock Exchange, you can download all the financial statement of the Amazon, Apple, Tesla, like that. So companies and Alibaba like that. So every country there is a stock exchange. Like India, they have Mumbai Stock Exchange. China, they have Beijing Stock Exchange. Colombo, they have Colombo Stock Exchange. America, they have New York Stock Exchange like that. So any company, listed company, they can actually find out information from this corner financial section, charts and company profile, everything. So to wrap up the lesson today. So mainly today we discuss the importance of the main functions done by the human resource department. Talk about mainly about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 functions done by the human resource department. So just go through everything. And also in the financial section, we talk about main functions done by the 5 functions done by the financial department. So in my next session, I'm going to discuss you about the marketing department and their functions, and also the production operation departments, what their organizations things they are done by in the production department. So another 2 more departments are remaining in my next session. So today I'm going to wrap up the session with that. So thank you very much. Let's see you in my next session. Have a nice day.